What's going on, everybody? I'm Raynor.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Zach.
Welcome to Collecting Rarities, the show that I cannot believe has still made it on the air. We are joined today.
Ouch.
Oh, wow. All right. We are joined today by the head of the network, the Oxfather himself, Zachary, here to talk about mechanical keyboards. But before we get into every show, we always have to do that special thing known as the sponsor tag. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Watto Scrapyard, for sponsoring this show. He does an amazing job. Just great guy to deal with, and if you need any head sculpt printed, he's the man to go to. Seth, what do you think? Same?
Oh, definitely. I kind of feel like I need a head sculpt of myself printed, honestly, at this point.
Oh, God, yeah. That'd be awesome, dude. That'd be awesome, dude. Get an extra tall body, with buff body,
What is it?
The new Fison M30, M33?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, my God.
The Arnold body.
Yeah. Alright, well, we're going to start off today's show with the Sabre news. Sabre Forge has gotten their restocks in, and they have restocked a bunch of their stuff. So you've got the Archon there, that's the picture to the left. Great Sabre, very, very nice hilt. You've also restocked the Bane, that's the center picture. The Epoch, the Fallen Order, which is our picture on the right there. The Hunter's Creed, the Phoenix, the Rebel Princess, and the Sinister Prophecy. All great sabers. I'm not as big of a fan of the Sinister Prophecy, but, it is what it is. It's more of a too generic saber, in my opinion. What's going on, Danny Lee? What's going on? So, Seth, speaking of which, you said you had wanted to get a custom saber. Have you gone down that rabbit hole yet?
I purchased one a while back. And I'm now waiting on my second month of waiting for it. So yeah, that's fun.
Who'd you purchase it from?
Who was it? It was Ultra Sabers. Actually, it was their Darth Vader one.
Ultra Sabers?
Yeah, apparently they've been hit with some wicked delays because of COVID, and so they keep apologizing and saying we can always swap it out with something else, but I'm gonna hold out for the Darth Vader one. So I hope when I get it, that it is definitely worth the effort.
That is weird for Ultra Sabers, because Ultra Sabers usually can crank out a saber in a week.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really weird. At this point, you might as well have gotten one from Sabre Forge. Hilt's going to be a lot nicer too.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I'd screwed up there, but we'll see.
I honestly, if it's going to be 2 months from Ultra Sabers, I cancel that thing. Go on a Vader's Vault, or go on a Sabre Forge, or Korbanth, or hell, even Sabre Trio, and just get something better. Because I've always considered Ultra Sabers more of the Kmart of the Sabre community.
Damn, bro.
Ouch. Put them on blast. I feel like they kind of deserve it.
Calling it like it is. Calling it like it is. I mean, when you can get a saber in a week and they run their place like a Chinese sweatshop,
Jesus.
Well, next time I won't be buying from the Kmart of Saber building.
Apparently not.
Go to the Pox store too. The Pox store is another excellent one if you don't mind waiting for it to come from China, but they're really good.
Cool.
Pox
I'll
store.
have to check it out.
So what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, let's get going here. So this is my little segment called Minifigure of the Month, and I'm actually really proud of this one because just this minifigure alone, just because I never knew it was going to be worth so much money. But when I first came out, because it was a set I was kind of wishy-washy on. So this is the Ahsoka Tano from Rebels here. Set number 75158. It's the Lego Rebel Combat Frigate set. And this came out, everybody was kind of like, whatever, it's kind of unimpressive. A lot of people skipped out on it. And the set retailed for like $110, but the price point was, the piece to count price point wasn't there. You had a lot of people not happy about that because the price, there were only about 900 pieces. And the price point was about $110. So it didn't reach that like 10 cents per brick kind of price point that you really wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody was kind of like, and plus the set itself was just kind of just unimpressive. But it did come, is the only set that come with adult Ahsoka from Rebels. And so when the set got retired and Ahsoka started appearing on more stuff, the minifigure price shot up, of course. Now the minifigure is worth 120 to 160 on the aftermarket, and
That's crazy.
It's worth more than the set was at retail. And people see people scalping the set for $400 or $500 just because it comes with this minifigure.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
I can imagine. Even do you see it like jumping up in price even more now that we're starting to see Ahsoka in so much, and she's become like even more popular than she was?
That's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, this is the little figure right here for those of us who are turning in live. This is the figure right here. It's hard to believe that this little piece of plastic is worth $150.
And you said we're giving that away, right, for the trivia?
Oh God, no! You wish. See Zachary create like a bunch of bots, be like, okay, I'm on this shit. So I'm going for it. Oh my gosh. So, but yeah, I love the minifigure, and you know, you look at it closely, it's got like the whitish sabers. It's also a rare part because you've got the white sabers there.
Well, that's awesome.
Come into focus there. There we go. Yeah, you've got the unique saber hilts and the white saber blades. Yeah, fun times. But Seth, it is now time for your segment.
Sneaker of the show. I totally realized after I put this up that I had screwed up. It's actually the Nike PG or Paul George 2.5 PlayStation Wolf Gray. That was completely my bad.
That's
But anyway.
fired.
I know. Just kick me off the show now. I can't believe I would screw up so badly. But no, this is the Nike PG 2.5 PlayStation Wolf Gray. It's obviously Paul George's signature shoe. He plays for the Clippers now, if y'all don't follow basketball. He is a huge gamer, and so that's why they did a PlayStation deco of the shoe. They've actually done 3 PlayStation colorways of his shoe, 2 of them in the 2.5s, and 1 of them in the Paul George 2. The first one was like modeled after the colors of the DualShock controller. This one is actually more towards the original PlayStation.
Yeah, I noticed that with the color scheme.
Mm-hmm. And if you look closely, it actually has like the little button logos all over the shoe. They actually went through 7 different iterations to get the colors exactly right to match the original PlayStation.
God damn.
Jeez, can you imagine? Oh, it's off by 1 shade.
Mm-hmm. And Nike collaborated closely with PlayStation to get the color match perfect. So, it's a pretty cool shoe. Plus, it has the light-up tongues, which is unique. The only thing that sucks is the battery is not replaceable, so if that ever wears out, I guess I just have tongues that don't light up anymore.
So, did the bottoms light up at all, or?
No, it's just that the Paul George logo and the PlayStation logo, which you can't really see the PlayStation logo as much because it has like the colors on it and it doesn't light up as well, which, I mean, honestly,
How do you
sucks.
How do you turn the light on? Is it a button?
It's a little
just like
button
every
on
time
the
you
back.
walk? Oh,
No, just like a little button you hit, and so you can actually hit it to where it lights up and just glowing constantly, or you can hit it again and it'll flash, or then hit it again and it turns off.
Damn.
So-
You said these are the 2.5, so what's the difference between the 2 and the 2.5s?
So the only thing that changed between the 2 and the 2.5 was they actually had lacing across the midfoot, and then they changed in the 2.5 to have that Velcro like midfoot strap.
Does he actually wear these when he plays, or is
Yeah,
this
he
like a,
he
okay.
definitely wears it. Like, this is his signature shoe, so like he wears.
Keep the lights
this.
on?
I don't know.
You
That's
imagine him
probably-
like rolling like down the court?
Yeah, that's probably against NBA regulation, I would assume. So.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be hilarious though if they actually allowed lights on the shoes. Like, can you imagine some of the strobes you can put on those things?
Yeah. Although I don't know the what is it? The adjustable shoe. I totally blanked on the name of it. But yeah, Nike has their
The
shoe.
air Pippins?
No, it's the one that like adjusts to your foot. The Adapt. They have the Adapt basketball, which also has lights on it, and people playing that. So I would assume that maybe the lights aren't against an NBA regular. And I don't know. I just
Maybe
look
you
into that.
just can't have them on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have an
Pretty cool
answer.
shoes. So these are you own. This is
Yes,
your pair right here?
this is
Oh,
my
okay.
pair.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn, I
Seth
need to go to
is,
shoe shopping in Seth's closet.
Oh,
Get some fancy light up
no.
shoes.
Seth, tell them a little bit about your collection, man. It's been a while
Obviously,
since you've been on.
somebody does not listen to our show.
No, I know you have nice shoes. You have nice everything. Motherfucker. You have nice everything. I would assume you have a fine collection of shoes.
I am up to. I think I'm close to 60 pairs of shoes now.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I'm getting
dang.
pretty close. So
I think I have like 2. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe 3.
life's too short to just have 2 pairs.
2 and a
of
half.
shoes.
Well, I have like I
I
have
got
4
these-
keyboards, but I got 2 pairs of shoes.
I got size 17 boats, and you know what? I don't have. Oh, I do have them here. There, let me just do a show close up to the camera. This is why I cannot afford the nice shoes that Seth does.
You know what? I'm
'Cause
gonna find you a pair of 17s and a badass.
Dude, where are
shoe.
the Jesus sandals? Show me the sandals. We gotta do the sandal of the week, guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Jesus sandals. These are what we're now referred to as the Jesus sandals.
I can't believe you had those under the desk. Those are amazing.
He was ready. He was ready. It was like as soon as we're talking
He's
about
like, bro, I'm not gonna
shoes-
fuck around and let Seth steal the fucking thunder, bro. Hit him with the Jesus Air Max double O's, bro.
It's
Dude,
like,
I even
these
got
were-
my fucking Crocs under here, dude. Like, check this shit out.
The Jesus BCADs, bro.
See, you could always get the Post Malone Crocs. Come
Dude,
on.
those are the PG 1.0s. And that
So they
PlayStation
do-
gray Crocs.
So that's a legitimate question of mine, though, Seth. Do they make these nice tennis shoes that you're going out and buying in my size? Because I would be interested, but
I mean,
Yeah,
Paul
they-
George is a big.
They
fan.
do mostly in basketball shoes. I have seen Yeezys in your size. But yeah, like most Jordans, I would say go up that high.
nice.
So,
Eddie,
same.
you just missed the Jesus sandals, man.
Yeah.
You just missed your
Come on,
bet.
Eddie.
So what's
Come
the
on, you slacking, bro.
what's the retail price? Of
So
these
retail
shoes?
on these weren't as popular. So they actually, I think they were like a $200 shoe, and they're still sitting at like $200, which
Shit.
yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they look
s-
cool.
They look cool. I mean, I like them for what they are, and it's. Just
I'm willing to
that-
bet if you really wanted to, you could probably change the battery. Like if you just take it apart, I'm almost
Probably.
certain you could find the
Yeah.
battery and replace it.
But this is one of the few shoes that's actually sold on StockX with a disclaimer that the lights might not work when you buy them.
What the fuck, bro?
They're like, we can't guarantee that they will work when you
Some
receive the
janky-ass
shoe.
shit, bro. Motherfucker, $9 Skechers work all the time. They can't guarantee Paul Jordan shoes or Paul George's shoes. It's fucked
Yep.
up.
Eddie says he caught the Lord's footwear. We're gonna call him that from now on. The Lord's
The
footwear.
Lord's footwear.
That sounds like a really high-end shoe shop. You'll write that down. That's gonna be
The
trademarked.
Lord's footwear.
Yeah, only open on Sundays.
I mean, those are hard to get. You had to
That was
take
good.
them off Jesus himself. I mean,
It's like instead of the Holy Grail, it's the Holy Sandal.
I don't know if I want sandals with holes in them, though. Come on.
Well, it's 3,000, 5,000, whatever years old. You just gotta go with it, man. I mean, you gotta
that's
get what
true.
you get.
I'm gonna share something real quick before we get into that.
Go
Right
for
here,
it.
baby, the Air Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So was he
the son of
wearing-
the Lord, the son of the Lord came to serve, not to be served, my guy.
Was he wearing those sandals when he was straight up dunking on Satan like that? Come on.
Basically.
No flashy footwear for Jesus. He doesn't need all that.
I
Give
don't
me
know,
a
bro.
second here. I gotta get back to my presenter view. Ah, fuck.
Here, I'll share this while you're goofing around.
Go for
Bro,
it.
look at that. Paul George ain't got nothing on that.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't realize that Jesus was a Bulls fan. I mean,
Eddie says guaranteed to part the Red Seas. All right, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. I'm catching up here. All right. Oh my gosh. So it's that time for the giveaway that I promised, and I did promise something, didn't I? So I am going to be doing a little bit of trivia here. This is a simple Google search, really. We're going to put a minute timer on it just for sake of time. But really, I mean, it's a simple Google search. Let me go ahead and pop the question here. But first, let me show you what we're getting away. So this is for continental U.S. only. I want to make that clear from the get-go. I'm not shipping this thing overseas. Just at my own dime. But this is the Lego Mandalorian set. That's the one where you get the Beskar Mando, Trouble on Tatooine. It's got a little sand person, Baby Yoda, and of course Beskar Mando. Awesome set.
That's awesome. If nobody wants it, just give it to me. I'll be fine.
You so funny. Alright, let's put a stopwatch on here. Alright, so the question here is, let me just pull up my little reference here, because I told you I googled this, I know it's easy to Google. Aloysius Calig, who was he betrayed by? What Sith Lord was he betrayed by that ultimately led to his death? And we are starting the timer now.
What is the person's name?
Aloysius Calig. Calig's the key word there.
DJ Calig.
And like I said, this is an easy Google search. It should take you 2 seconds. You got 20 seconds on the clock. And if nobody gets it, I'll just do a what number am I thinking of?
Eddie says, Danny, you think Moses did that without Jesus?
Wow, nothing. Okay then.
I mean, you
Apparently my trivia
banner on the screen or something.
I got a stopwatch on my phone, guys. I mean, come on. There's only so much I can
There's
do.
like a 10-second delay, like a 10 to 30-second delay.
That's why I'm letting it go to a minute 15. I've been told my trivia questions are too hard. Maybe there's something to that.
Bro, no one knows who DJ Calig is, bro. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm lost, honestly.
Do some mainstream trivia, bro.
Yeah.
Mainstream trivia. All right.
From the movies or something.
Okay. I'm guessing of a number between 1 and 60. Yo, shut up, Zach. Guessing a number between 1 and 60. Closest without going over gets it. What number am I thinking of?
Man, he says
For the
what's
prize,
happening.
people.
I don't know. DJ
Yeah,
Khaled.
yeah. You know what? I'm a man of culture. I apologize. I apologize for nothing.
Very obscure culture.
This is an obscure show. This is collecting rarities. Come on, people. Get with
Gotta
it.
make it rare.
Alright. We'll give another 25 seconds on the clock here.
So real talk, is the number 8?
No.
Okay.
Well, are you going to tell us the answer to the trivia?
Yes, so it was Tulak Horde.
Oh, okay.
So Calig was betrayed by Tulak Horde, and eventually, ironically, Tulak Horde's servant became a servant to a Calig later on. So, interesting stuff there.
All right, we got 43. Toy Mafia is guessing like more than once. I don't know that was the point, but
No, but his first guess is what counts, and unfortunately, that's the one that won. My number was 51.
wait, you just said without going over though.
Without going, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Oh my
Bro,
god.
you are the worst at trivia.
I am the worst. This is why I have Seth.
we have to clean up our act. Come on.
Okay, yeah, this.
We
yeah,
have to look
killing me.
professional.
Alright,
So
so it's
Manny-
Manny. It's
Manny
Manny.
won.
Manny
Wow.
won. Alright, Manny, you are the proud owner of this bungled giveaway
You
for
did
this.
Toy Mafia dirty, though.
I did. I apologize, Toy Mafia. Tell you what, I'll make it up to you. I'll slip you the answer to the next giveaway. How does that sound?
Why do
No, there's not going to be another giveaway.
Why do we get to do the show? Honestly,
I don't know. You're asking the right person, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with this show, bro.
Alright. Moving on, people.
It's Watto Scrapyard, Annie. We want to thank our friends over at Watto Scrapyard for sponsoring tonight's episode.
You can find them on Instagram at Watto Scrapyard. They're also on Facebook and eBay as well.
Yeah, man, they make 3D printed parts for hard-to-come-by Kenner and Hasbro vehicles, which is a huge help when you're looking for those lost pieces. They also make printed head sculpts of literally anybody you could think of.
Literally anyone. They've made a head sculpt of me. They've made head sculpts of PewDiePie for you. They've made all kinds of Jedi, all kinds of characters from the Star Wars universe. They are absolutely amazing. They can get any sculpt you want designed and printed for a reasonable fee today.
Alright. I hope trust everyone's over their nice bout of the giggles.
I am.
no promises.
No promises? Alright, well, that's the best we can do here. Alright, so, Zachary, this is your segment. Take it away.
Yeah, so Raynor and Seth asked me to be on here today to talk about mechanical keyboards. So what is a mechanical keyboard? It is a keyboard built with high quality, typically spring-activated key switches. They vary based on the keyboard's application or user preference, typically preference. While some of the first widely sold keyboards, such as IBM's and Model M in the 1980s, utilized mechanical switches, the 1990s brought on a wave of inexpensive rubber dome keyboards, and now they represent about 90% of keyboards in use today. They're inexpensive. Like, you can get like a basic rubber keyboard for like $10. I mean, some of them are all right, but I've kind of gotten the bug of mechanical keyboards lately.
Yeah, I know mechanical keyboards are really good for gaming. That's what I use. I use an MSI mechanical myself right here.
Yeah.
I don't know how well y'all can see that.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, it's got that rainbow colors going on. So fancy.
I mean, it basically makes you game like quite like 10% better, I think is what they say.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I run slides?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right. So they raise the bar in every way. Mechanical keyboard switches, framing functionality, type print methods, key construction, the PCB board, which is what the switches connect to, and the LED lighting are typically a lot better than rubber dome keyboards. But it really kind of boils down to preference. Like, if you're just someone that's typing, doing like general work stuff, you probably won't really notice the difference. But if you're someone that cares about those kind of things, I think they feel a lot better than rubber dome keyboards. Eddie says, do people not know what a keyboard is? I mean, a lot of people don't know what a mechanical keyboard is. So.
Well, most people just think all keyboards are the same, but in actuality, there's a lot of differences between them. I mean, especially when you're talking about RGB gaming keyboards with like macros and stuff built in.
Yeah, so on the left here, this is an example of like if you take apart a mechanical keyboard, what you would see on the inside. The switches would vary, but basically they're actual, like, each button has like a little physical switch that works. And then on the right, you have like a sort of like a membrane type keyboard. So everything kind of makes contact with this membrane and it triggers the keystroke. So there is a video I'm going to play. It's actually a website, but basically it shows you like some of the differences between the switches, because when you get a mechanical keyboard, one of the first things you have to decide is what type of switch you want. So I'll talk about a few. We'll start with Cherry MX Black switches. So this is how the switch activates inside the housing. It's a linear switch. It does not have a tactile or clicky feel to it. It says Cherry MX Black switches are linear, non-tactile switches. They're considered one of the best switch types for gaming. When gaming, having a tactile bump does absolutely nothing because you're going to bottom out anyways. So these give you a smooth feel. The actuation and release points are the exact same position as well. So games that require a lot of double tapping become easier than any other key switch. However, most people don't enjoy typing on them due to their linear nature. If you're a person who tends to hit a wrong key every so often while gaming, these will be beneficial, and the high actuation force will prevent many of those accidental key presses. So these, they do require a little bit of higher force to activate the switch, and so that's why they mentioned at the end it helps with accidental presses. One thing that's kind of difficult if you're buying a keyboard online is you kind of just have to go off of like other people's videos. It's not like you can go to, especially with COVID, you can't just go to a store and start like, typing on keyboards. So unfortunately for these, you kind of really have to
Trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error. And there's some companies that sell like a tester board, and it'll be like 5 switches, and each button is a different switch, and you basically just like pick the one that you want.
Cool.
Cherry MX Brown, these are the ones that I have on all my keyboards. They're tactile with no click. The actuation force is 45 grams, so it's a little bit less than the Cherry MX Blacks. They're considered the middle ground between typing and gaming switches. They have a light tactile feel halfway through the key press that lets you know when the switch is activated. This gives you an indication of what you can, when you can release the switch. The switch is considered a middle ground because the reset point and actuation point are close enough together that you can float at that point, enabling you to double tap faster. All mine have this switch. I think it's a good middle ground because I do a lot of typing on my keyboard, but I also do a little bit of gaming. I wouldn't say I'm like a super crazy gamer. But these have the right balance of like the noise they make, the force that's required, and the feel of the keys. MX Blues, these are tactile and clicky. I don't like these. These are really popular, but they're too loud for me. These are the best switches for typing. The tactile bump can easily be felt, and the resistance is similar to your average keyboard. Many people find them just fine for gaming. Some don't like the fact that the release point is above the actuation point. This can cause some trouble with double tapping. This is usually the case with someone who's experienced other mechanical keyboards beforehand. So I have a video here showing some different keys. So let me share this with the audio. So this first one is the blue switches, so they're clicky and tactile. This is red switches, so they're not too clicky. And then brown, which is ones that I like.
Sounds like my keyboard.
Yeah. Steve
yeah.
says definitely recommend Micro Center if you have one around to test most of these out in person.
Oh yeah, I definitely couldn't agree with that. Micro Center's the bomb. I love Micro Center.
Yeah. I've been wanting to try out red switches, just because they are a little bit quieter, I think, than browns, but yeah, that's kind of like the biggest thing when you're buying one of these is like actually what kind of switches that yours have. So Zach, what type of switch does yours have in it?
I'm not 100% sure. It's the one that came with my my desktop. So I bought a pre-built rig from MSI, and
Yeah.
so I'm not 100% sure what my keyboard is, but I can tell you it's loud and it does have a fair amount of resistance. So
If you pop a keycap off, is it like red, black, or blue on the inside of it?
I have never popped a keycap off with this thing.
Oh my God, you don't clean your keyboard, my guy?
Well, I
just
mean,
kidding.
I clean it. I clean it, just not that
got
way.
a-
And that was actually my question that I was going to ask you is, with all these different mechanical pieces, how do you clean these things?
So there's, I mean, obviously you can. So Nope says you can get O-rings to dampen the sound, Zach. You can just like blow compressed air on them with the keys on. Linus Tech Tips did a video where they took some keyboards and they tested different ways to clean them. And one way, I wouldn't say it's recommended, but one way that they did it, they were trying to test, like if you're just super lazy and you just want the easiest way to do it, if you took all the keycaps off and just put it in the dishwasher, would it still work? And every keyboard that they tried worked fine after it fully dried, so they dried it out for like a week.
Oh, of course.
I wouldn't recommend doing that, but
Of course not.
a lot of videos like you can clean the keycaps off, with like a cleaning solution, and then dust out the inside of the keyboard. There's stuff that could get trapped underneath the PCB, and most keyboards you can unscrew the back to clean that out. But generally speaking, it's just a matter of like actually taking the time to clean it. Nope says he uses isopropyl alcohol on his.
I know they
keys.
do make these special wipes that I actually saw ironically at Micro Center when I was living in DC that have like none of the harmful chemicals and stuff that can harm the keyboard electronics.
Yeah.
And I forget what they're called though. But yeah, like I was gonna ask you about those if you know what.
I haven't heard that one, but I'll definitely look into that. Now, once you figure out the kind of switch you want, the next thing is to figure out what kind of form factor you want. So, when people typically think of a keyboard, they're most likely thinking of a 100% keyboard, because that is basically a full-size keyboard. So you have your function buttons, your keys, the arrows,
I know.
the
I
things
know
on the
mine's
right, so the number pads.
100%.
Yeah, but I would say most common that I see are 100%, 80%, which is called 10 keyless, so you don't have the number pad on the right, and then 60%. There are some 40% builds, but I don't see those that often. Eddie says Zach has to clean his out a lot because of 4K MILF porn, bro. You are not lying. But for me personally, because on my desk, with what we do, I have I obviously have my keyboard, I have my mouse, but then I usually put a drink on the desk because we're talking a lot, and then I have my Stream Deck, and then I just have all different kind of things that stuff I don't want to lose, like the stickers and stuff. So I need I don't have a huge desk, so I like the 60%. It gives me the most functionality for what I do, like the podcast editing. I would say I would like to have arrow keys, but 80% is maybe a little bit larger than I want to go. And with the Stream Deck taking up some space and the mixer and the speakers and everything, this is the perfect size for me. In fact, now when I put a full-size keyboard on my desk, it's kind of a lot. And it's funny, I had a problem with my computer, and when Geek Squad came to check it out, this was with the first computer, I had the 60% keyboard, and the guy was trying to do BIOS stuff, and he's like, I don't know what any of these buttons are. Where's the arrow keys? Where's the function keys? Where because with the BIOS stuff, you're doing a lot of that stuff, and I had to dig through the box and dig out the factory keyboard because he's like, I can't do any of this work on this keyboard.
So what kind of keyboard do they recommend for general use stuff versus specialized stuff like gaming or programming?
I mean, if you're programming, if you're doing real intensive stuff like that, I'd probably go 100%. But if you're just doing light gaming, I like the 60% personally. And like you said, a lot of these keyboards, they do have macros, so you could program one key switch to do multiple key presses, which will definitely save you some time. So I think it just really depends how much desk space you have, because I have a 60-inch desk, which is about average. But when you put a computer on the desk, and I have two monitors, and it just the space gets filled pretty quickly. So I like the 60% personally. I don't see a lot of 75% or 68%. They're out there, but typically the ones I've looked at, they're 100, 60, 80, and 40.
Yeah.
Now, once you do decide your switch and then your size, another thing is the profile of the keycap. So this is a side view of what a keyboard would look like. So the top R1 is the first row of keys, and then going down to the space bar row. And this is the profile of how your fingers will sit on the keyboard. And this typically you would decide if you're buying keycaps, because I think a lot of factories, when they're making their keyboards, they typically go Cherry or OEM. But basically this is just how the keys are when you look at a cross-section of the keyboard. And this is all personal preference, so...
I'm about to say, what's the advantages and disadvantages?
There's not really any. I think it's just the way that it feels and how your hand interacts with the keyboard. I've only had experience with OEM and XDA, and I do like both of those, but I wouldn't say I type faster on one or the other. It's just a different look to the board. The XDA, which is this keyboard here, is completely flat compared to one of those which are OEMs that they're not flat, but they do have a little bit of divot to them.
I imagine the OEMs might come a hindrance in gaming because you're trying to reach for a key quickly and you don't have the time to go up and down. You might accidentally scrape across something like that if they're raised higher.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't do competitive gaming, so that could be a thing. But I feel like I type and perform just as well in both. But there are different profiles, and you'll see them when you're buying keycaps. They'll say SA, OEM, Cherry, and those are important to know before you buy anything. What type of profile they have, because you might be buying individual keycaps. Some people buy like special escape bars or like shift and caps lock and space bars. But if you have an OEM keyboard and you buy like an XDA space bar, it will look different than every other key on that row. So it's important to know that. And I actually almost made that mistake today when I was buying an artisan keycap. This is another bit of thing you can do with these keyboards. I mean, I guess you could do it with like a regular keyboard too, but when you're talking about mechanical keyboards, a lot of people, it is really sort of a bit of expressionism. So people customize the keycaps that come with the keyboards, the frames, and then also the cables. So I tried to hold out on buying a custom cable because I was like, that's kind of silly. But honestly, I like the custom cables now, and I'm like, I can't wait to buy the next one. But these are coiled cables, so they just kind of like, if you have to have a cable on your desk, which a lot of these mechanical keyboards typically do, it's just a little bit nicer if it matches like your setup or your keyboard. So you can buy these. They're usually anywhere from like $20 to $100 depending. You can spend, for a keyboard, like you could spend $50 to like $1,000 or $10. I mean, like they get up there when you're dealing with the more, but it's kind of like head sculpts with 6 scale. Like, you could pay like me to paint you a head sculpt and it won't be that much.
So let me ask you this: with these cables, is there any way to improve the lag time or the latency or anything with the keyboards?
I mean, they all claim to have like gold fittings and all this stuff, but I mean, again, I don't do super competitive gaming, so I don't know that it's really affecting, like, when I press a key, how fast is the keyboard doing it. I think it's mostly just for aesthetics, but what I was saying is, like, for some of these things, like, in this hobby or any hobby in general, like, you could pay someone, $50 to paint a head sculpt, or you could pay someone, $1,000 to paint a head sculpt, and it really just depends on what level of craftsmanship you want. So, some of the keyboards that I'll show you later are going to be really expensive, and some of the ones that I'll show you a little bit later are also really budget. So Eddie says, why choose a wired keyboard over a wireless? A wireless keyboard is more maintenance because you do have to plug it in every so often. There's
a delay.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a delay. I personally just go wired because during the show, the last thing I want to happen is something not work. So imagine I'm in the middle of the show and like my keyboard stops working. Then I basically have to like stop the show, find out why it's not working. So I would say, just for what I do personally, I do use a wireless mouse, but I always have a mouse on standby right next to me. So and I charge this one fairly often, but I think it just really depends on what you want. I mean, some of the ones that I have, they are wired and wireless, so they can be unplugged and switch over to Bluetooth, but I always run them wired because I do like the idea of not having wires on the desk, but at the same time, I just don't want to ever have to deal with something dying in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it's the same thing with my Razer Naga mouse that I use when I MMO game. I have the ability to make it wireless, but why should I have it die in the middle of like a run or something when I'm like in panic mode? So I always keep it plugged in.
Yeah, I try to eliminate wireless as much as I can. Like I said, the mouse is only wireless because I don't have a clean way to route the wire. But these headphones, they're wireless, but they do work with a wire with much less features, and I always run them with the wire because, like I said, I cannot... The last thing I want is my headphones to die in the middle of the show and then have everyone's, hear all the speakers come out, and it's just awful. Another accessory people do buy with their keyboards, a lot of people will buy like fancy mats that match their setup colors or their keyboard colors, so this is one here. But it's just like, there's not really any benefit to it. It's just purely aesthetics. And, I guess when you get into this things, like I said, you could spend a few bucks and get just a generic keyboard, or you can spend a little bit more and get something.
Well, some of those mats, don't they have like a little raised bump where you can like rest your wrists and stuff where you can type?
Yeah, definitely. So this is just an example of one of those mats. As far as like where to start when you're getting into mechanical keyboards, I certainly wouldn't go out and spend like $1,000 and have someone make you one, because that's a lot of money, and maybe you don't even like the way it sounds. So I have 3 budget keyboards if you guys want to look into them. So this is the RK61 RGB. They do have a white LED only version, which is like $45, so it's about $20 cheaper. This is a 60% keyboard, which is that form factor we talked about earlier. And this is a wired/wireless, so this one can function as a Bluetooth keyboard or a wired keyboard. And with this version in the Amazon description, you can actually specify if you want red, brown, or I think black switches. So going back to what we talked about earlier, you do have to select both the profile and the switch type. The next one is the And Pro 2. So this one's a little bit more. It's coming in at $89. This is also 60% wired/wireless keyboard. This uses a type of switch called Gateron, and I don't have a lot of experience with these, but I think Stephen Krett from Ox does use Gaterons, and I think he does like them. But this is also RGB, and it's also 60%, and it is a wired/wireless. So this one is a little bit more expensive. You're going from 65 with the 10% coupon up to 89. But this is a much more premium keyboard than the first one. And then the last one, which is sort of like, you know, this one and this one here are kind of like the ones that really are like the top of the line for the budget. This is the Ducky 1.2 Mini. This one uses the cherry switches, so going back to what we talked about earlier, this one's $119. It's also in that 60% form factor. It comes in black and white. Now this one though is only wired, so it does not work wirelessly. But this is the one that I have. I have two RK61s and one Ducky 1.2 Mini.
So I know some of these keyboards, especially when you get to like the 100%, you can really get some like fancy bells and whistles on them aside from the macros. I know I had a Logitech one a while back when I was poor and needed a cheap keyboard, but it had a wheel for the volume, so like I could literally just go zzz and mute it or zzz and crank it up full volume. So if you want to get a little bit into some of the bells and whistles these things can have.
I mean, you know, with the form factors, I mean, you're not often, you know, seeing a 60% with a whole attachment for volume and stuff. I mean, the whole point of the form factor is to go smaller. I don't know that I have any pictures of it, but I mean, there's some people that route like LEDs onto the side panels or, you know, do like very, very custom keycaps with like their company logos, which is something I personally would love to do. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like I'll show you guys some custom builds here in a bit that are like way more than $119. You know, so I mean, there's people that will spend like $200 on like a handmade coiled cable. So, I mean, it can be an expensive hobby or it can be a cheap hobby. And right now I'm still in that like cheap hobby type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Pemberka says he rocks the And Pro 2 and he likes the Gateron Blues.
So I know the 100% though, when you really get to those big keyboards, you really can like really deck them out and do all kinds of cool stuff with them. So yeah, I had one that actually had an LED screen on it where I could like select my macro programs and stuff directly from the keyboard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. This is an example of like a more expensive type of keyboard. So these are resin keycaps with like designs inside of the clear resin. So this is Jelly Key from r/mechanical keyboards. These keycaps can be pretty cheap or pretty expensive depending on who's making them. I found a guy that makes them. I mean, I don't say he makes them, but he gets them from China, and they're about $30 for like a space bar. And I picked up one, but I mean that is like probably the very low end of something like this. Because you can, you know, I've seen people that sell sets of these, you know, they're like $100-$200 for a few keycaps. So, but these look beautiful. These are handmade and
That's awesome.
they do look pretty good. This is another one from Chicken.
Oh, you're hitting
Boyo
me.
Yeah, this is a space themed keyboard. He has the SHIT over there up top. I thought this one looked pretty cool. This is like another one of those like artisan keycaps. This is Suicide Fate 0, and like you said, Raynor, there are some features here. So this is, I think he does have a headphone volume knob and a little bit of an indicator here. But this is a custom keycap set, which looks pretty sweet. And then these are like those custom escape bars. So this guy has a Kirby escape keycap, which is pretty cool. And, you know, I mean, it's just really a matter of the things that you like. So this guy has a Pokemon themed from... I believe this is Heart Gold, So Silver, or maybe Ruby, but this is the opening scene that
Latios and Latias right there.
Yeah, he transplanted that to a key set, and even like for displaying, like I know for us we like our displays, but this guy has a bunch of mechanical keyboards put into sort of a bookshelf type thing. So, I mean, these are like kind of like more higher end stuff. I basically just searched for like the best keyboard designs on the Reddit, but. I mean, there are some really nice like budget keycap sets out there. You know, for example, showing off the ones I have. This is a Coral Sea keycap set. So it is
nice.
like Japanese inspired. This is like a budget keycap set. So like for the full keyboard plus set, it was like less than $100. This is my personal favorite one. It's milk and honey. So it's a bee with honey and milk designs on it. I think that one looks pretty cool. And then this one here is the Ducky 1-2 Mini with what's called pudding caps. So they like rape your eyes with RGB, but it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
And the camera's freaking out, but it doesn't flicker like that in real life.
And I know certain keyboard brands will do certain things when you're gaming with certain games. Like I know Alienware is infamous for that. They'll have if you buy an Alienware mechanical keyboard, they'll like if you're gaming in like EVE Online and your starship starts getting hit, they'll like start flashing red and doing all that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that actually, but yeah, I mean, you know, this is a cool hobby. It's not like, you know, I wouldn't say it's for everybody, but I guess like this year I really wanted to like make my desk appearance a little nicer and kind of like, you know, I don't know, like with everyone being stuck at home with COVID, there's been a lot of like YouTube setup videos where people are showing off their like fancy setups. So I've been kind of taking that to heart and like trying to upgrade mine. And that was one thing that I felt I was lacking because I mean I was using like this really old dirty keyboard I've had for like 7 years, and I mean it was a great keyboard. It was like $10, but I mean, you know, I wanted to.
So what was the first keyboard that you bought that was mechanical?
The first keyboard that I got was the white one with the Japanese stuff on it.
So what kind of brand do you recommend for like a all-purpose use or, you know, something like that? Because I know everybody's got their own brand that they prefer. What do you prefer?
I really like the RK61, and you know, it really depends if you want that RGB, because you can get the white LED version for like $45, which is what I have on the Milk and Honey keyboard. I will say I like the sound of the Ducky, and I think for the features, like what it has, what it can do, the brightness of the RGB, I think the Ducky 1-2 is really good because you can get them for $100 plus like $10 shipping when they're in stock. And it's such a good keyboard that I don't know if it's totally worth it, but I mean, it's a really fucking nice keyboard. I know Steven Krett came over and looked at it and he liked it, but he was like, your space bar needs a little bit more lubrication on the stabilizer, which is what kind of like helps it not like wobble. So I need to do that because now that he pointed it out, I can't use it because I just hear that little like noise. But yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with the RK61s, and you know, they come in at $45 to $60. I mean, you know, that's just with the basic keycap, so that's not with a custom keycap set. But I think they're pretty good. And let me see if I can pull up the key set that I have coming in.
And what do you recommend as a good travel size for, like, say you need to, like, you do a lot of business on the go or something?
60%. I think 60% is, like, you know, just an awesome form factor. I mean, the keyboard itself, I think 60%, it's like a foot long, so it's definitely not super crazy sized. So this is this new keycap set I have coming in. It's inspired by Evangelion. So it has, like, the Nerve logo. And awesome. I'm going to pick up a black RK61 for that. And then I feel like anytime I get a keycap set, I want to just get a new keyboard to put on because they're not that expensive. I also am trying to put together a Koi build with that Koi themed keycap. So I'll show you guys the keycap that I got. And I know, like, this is definitely not I don't know that I totally agree with this purchase, but you know, I didn't want to spend like $300 and wait like a year for a like an actual real artisan keycap. But this guy was selling these Koi keycaps really cheap, and I was like, you know what, I'll try it, and if I like it, you know, maybe I'll get in on a wait list for one of these artisan ones. But this is the keycap that I have coming in, which is this. So it's like that resin with the fish on the inside. So if they come in looking good, it doesn't come with the 5 keys. It's just the space bar. But if it comes in looking good, then I will be very excited. So
And you can
Yeah,
get those
that'd be
clear and like have the light shine through it, and it looks really
Yep.
awesome, right?
yeah, that's a backlit keyboard. So it is an interesting hobby. But I appreciate you guys letting me come on and talk about it.
Oh, not a problem, not a problem. Let me take over the slides here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that time of the show, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it got so loud.
Yeah, you can hear the disdain in my voice.
This is the best part of the show.
Yeah, and now I can't get the slides to pull back up. Hooray! Hold on a second. Let me stop
You want me to run
sharing.
them?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Real quick, Danny said, do they make custom keys for laptops? They may. I've never heard of that, to be honest. I've heard of, because to take apart a laptop key, like this key, I can just pull it out. Like, it's not a big deal, but laptops
Laptop
are typically
keys.
built into the frame. So I've seen like you can buy like a gel cover that goes over the laptop, but I've never heard of like a whole keycap set. So maybe they're out there. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Alright, well, it's that part of the show where we thank our Patreons, and I butcher their names, so here we go. Ben Porter, Sean Fear, Ian Seavey, Rian Mendez, Eric Marcel, Quinn Aguirre, Leo Hernandez. Thank God I didn't butcher that again. King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber. I apologize for that one. Lisa Martin Bomensky, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Critt, Big Fern, King Zachary, Caesar Morroquin, Mike Cruz, Bayou La Boyd. I don't know if that's a personal attempt to trip me.
Boy?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a personal
Bola
attempt to trip me up or something, but yeah, let's go with it. Eric Ruiz, Mario Cortez, Steven Persha, Sean Utesby, something like that. Scott Bradley, Jesse
Zach,
Contreras.
these people pay us money, my guy. Can we have Seth read these or something? You're like just roasting their whole existence.
Go for it, man.
Jesus.
Go for it.
It's my favorite when he reads them.
Go ahead, Seth. Take it over.
Take it over. You got like 3 more.
Where were we?
Oh my god.
Jesse Contreras. Oh, bite me.
Stephen Maria Stanley, Lord Voldemort, Eddie Manzanares, right? And Joe Corpus. Boom. It wasn't
Boom.
that
Nailed
hard.
it. Seth, from now on, you got to do these, man. That was.
That's your new job.
Raynor really struggled with that.
All right. Well, Seth, why don't you take this one over too, since you're going to be reading the Patreons?
Okay. Join the Patreon. Pay for it.
That was pathetic. All right.
I'm just kidding. So, there's obviously 3 tiers. Tier 1, Sweet Angel. Want Patreon exclusive swag from the Collecting Weekly Network. Sorry, I cannot talk.
See, it's not just me.
Yep. You got it here. $5 a month includes a sticker straight to your door, as well as access to Aux After Dark replay.
That's worth it in itself. That's an amazing time right there.
And then also you can have your name butchered by Raynor.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
That's
r/wrestling.
$5 per month. Certified Crispy is $15 per month. This tier includes an official Certified Crispy certificate on first pledge, assistance with figure fixes by Zach, message beforehand to confirm it's possible, and all the benefits from the previous tier. What a Guy, $25 per month. Folks in this tier get assigned collecting
Jesus,
weekly.
bro. We've only been doing this for like 3 years.
I got you, Seth. What a guy. Folks in this tier get a signed Collecting Weekly Live 18 by 24 silhouette poster on first pledge. Doubles of all the stickers we send. 1 sculpt a year painted by Darkside Customs. That's worth the price alone after 3 months. And the benefits of all the previous tiers.
You know,
Thank you for that. That was
2 out of 3 is pretty good.
fantastic. I'll take over. You guys are killing me. Seth just doesn't want to be here. Main Patreon benefits. We're doing the live, Collecting Weekly live unboxing sticker. That is obviously in hand. I showed it earlier. And then Dean the Dream sticker. We'll be ordering that in the next few days. All the Patreon stuff have shipped for April. So we'll be shipping these here in the next few weeks. But yeah. Dean the Dream sticker, Manny designed that, and the
Looks pretty
CW
good.
Live unboxing, me and Dean worked on that logo. So stay tuned for that.
let me plug something here. We're also working on some rarity swag with somebody from the network, so it's coming. We ran into a bit of an issue with the person's personal life taking over, so rarity swag is coming, but we're gonna be getting some stickers here shortly. It's gonna be awesome. I've seen some of we've talked about some of the prototype designs being kind of Indiana Jones theme-ish, so very awesome.
Can we get a sticker that just says lemur?
Yeah, when we have nothing
Sure.
else to do, we'll do that.
Sure, why not?
We have a TeePublic store also. The TeePublic store, I don't think that they're on sale right now, but they were on sale for a few days. But we kind of revamped the store. A lot of people didn't know that we had a store, so we do have one, and we have the CW Live logo, the OFAC podcast, the Retro Small Talk, the In and Outs of Collecting, the Only Fools / Only Fans, the Retro CW logo, the Fuck That Guy t-shirt, Creeps Are Us, Ox Plays, the Godzilla Showcase theater rental shirt sticker, the Auxiliary A icon, and the Gooch Grease shirt. So those are available on TeePublic. And then looking at the network, we have Small Talk, CW Live, OFAC podcast, Collecting Rarities, which you're listening to now, The Joy of Hobbying, In and Outs of Collecting, Ox Plays After Dark, and Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing. So great network there. I think this week on Thursday, Small Talk is uploading and OFAC is going live. CW's on Tuesday, and then we just dropped Ox Plays last night. And then In and Outs should be uploading on Friday, their episode from last Friday. So definitely a bunch of content heading your way. And then After Dark on Wednesday,
times.
as per usual.
Fun times.
We do have a Facebook group. It is Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. It's a fun group. We kind of just fuck around. And Mario apparently is going to be selling a bunch of stuff in there at some point. So if you watch his last show, there's he basically did a live sale. So stay tuned for those posts. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Final thoughts, people. I think we did a pretty good show today.
Somebody else might disagree.
Well,
Somebody
we'll just but no, I think Zachary, you did an excellent. You had an excellent amount of information about those keyboards. You told me some stuff I didn't know about these keyboards, and you've got me questioning what I have now. So now I have to do some digging.
Very informative about mechanical
take that
keyboards.
keyboard apart and clean it, bro.
Yeah,
also,
I usually just air dust it, but yeah, I actually need to get down in the nitty gritty.
One thing real quick, James C. did actually just sign up for Patreon. I haven't had a chance to change that slide yet, so that is my fault. But James C., thank you for joining. You joined right in at the top tier, so we appreciate that. And I think we have April stickers left over, so if we do, we'll get yours sent your way. If not, we'll get with you and figure out some comparable exchanges.
So next show, I'm going to be trying to get I'm going to try to be getting in to see the guy who runs a lot of the local beer memorabilia for San Antonio. So I'm going to be trying to get a hold of him, see if he wants to join the show. If not, show's going to be beer themed. So Seth, you're going to need to bring your Mountain Dew martini or whatever it is you call it.
Dugarita.
Dugarita, there we go.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely
I'll be all over that. I'll just be drinking beer the whole time.
If anyone has any questions about keyboards, feel free to hit me up on Ox. I know there's actually quite a few people on Ox that are into keyboards, a lot more than I thought. I will also put a disclaimer. I'm not the biggest expert on mechanical keyboards, so if I said something wrong, sue me. But
take it up with him.
Yeah, take it up with management.
If anybody has any questions about how we're still doing shows, I don't have an answer.
Hey, you know what? We got 2 more shows, and then it's Crab Rave time, because that'll be number 10, and we get to do the Crab Rave.
Yes. Number 10.
He's like, I have
Raynor,
no idea. I'm questioning this.
Do you know that you had up until this week 2 episode 5s? You had episode 5, and then you titled the best of episode 5. And so
did I?
Deleted episode 5 from that one. So your numbering system is all messed up, bro. I don't know what is going on. You did 3 episodes, and you're like, we're gonna do a best of show. I'm like, wow, that's pretty soon. for a best of show.
Okay.
You're all over the place, bro. I love it though.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call this one. I don't know. We're gonna call this one number 8.
5.5.
We're gonna call this one number 8.
Yeah,
2
go
more
through
shows.
and
we get to do the crab
retitle
rate.
everything. Yeah, go through
Yeah, I
and title
will.
everything.
I will.
Anyways, that was a beautiful show. I love.
It was
everything
fun.
about that.
It was fun. It was fun. Admit it. You had fun on some level.
Yeah, mostly with the Air Jesus.
All right, people. Well, I'm Raynor.
I'm Seth.
I'm Zach.
Stay rare, stay golden, and we will catch you all next time.